Denver 7 tonight, going in depth on the fentanyl crisis following today's Colorado Supreme Court decision that could change prosecutions here. We're doing a deep dive on the impacts of the drug here in Colorado. So we'll show you how wastewater testing could stop fentanyl use in its tracks, plus the impact on our children and the blind spot in a new law that didn't work as intended. But first, Denver 7's Colette Bordelon explains how the Colorado Supreme Court ruling today could change the fight in courtrooms all across our state.
It's hard to put into words, really.
It's something a parent never plans for.
The story of the last 4 years,
and a club Matt Riviere does not want to be a part of.
In July of 2021, I lost my two sons, Andrew and Stephen Riviere, to a fentanyl poisoning in one night together. Later on, it became a calling to really help save other kids because I couldn't save my kids.
He supported a Colorado law passed in 2022, which upped the penalties for people who are convicted of selling drugs that result in the death of another person. Under that law, those charged with fentanyl distribution face sentences that are 4 times longer than the standard sentencing range.
If you're going to sell a drug that's going to kill people, then you need to pay the penalty for your actions.
But what happens when someone intentionally uses those drugs to end their life?
We were thinking about these kids that were being dealt these drugs and losing their lives. It never crossed my mind about this being a mechanism for successful suicide.
In an opinion on Monday, the Colorado Supreme Court decided that evidence of a, quote, drug purchaser's suicidal intent may be relevant in the case against Patrick Beverly, who's represented by Bill Griffin.
If a person is going to commit suicide with fentanyl, does the person who's distributing the fentanyl, are they responsible for that death?
In this El Paso County case, Beverly allegedly sold pills containing fentanyl to a man who died after consuming them. The coroner later determined the manner of death was suicide, evidence the prosecution wanted excluded from the trial.
This ruling is setting a new precedent. It's the first time I have seen something like this.
No, it's never been decided in the state before.
The court found that when someone consumes a large amount of fentanyl with the intent to die by suicide, they've made a voluntary and willful choice, continuing to say that's, quote, abnormal behavior they should not expect defendants to foresee in some circumstances.
The jury gets to decide if you're responsible.
2 of the justices did not agree with this decision, writing the man's death was not just foreseeable, but practically expected.
As much as I want to throw the book at every person that's dealing this drug, in this case, again, it's very nuanced.
Riviere believes this case is completely different than his son's.
Their intent was not to die that night.
And for that reason, he agrees with the ruling. Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.